many of us limit the scope of Islam our entire lives to a system of do's and don'ts. The way in which most of us interact with the deen is exclusively through its laws. We can do this, we can do that, we can't do this. And while that's perfectly okay, because at the end of the day, we need to live lives that are pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a life that doesn't harm our soul's health. But the issue is that so many people are losing the capacity to follow through with God's commandments. And a lot of times that's because the foundation from which the religious practice and law follows is shaky to begin with. Islam didn't immediately begin with a system of law. It began with an outlook on life, an outlook on what you are as an insan, what your nature is like, what your journey in this world entails. Before the laws of the religion were placed, for hundreds of thousands of years, God was sending down prophets to teach people about ethics, about virtue, about worldviews, so that finally the religion could culminate in the complete deen, what we have today, with a system of what we should and should not do. The key to rectifying struggles that you're facing when following through with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's laws is to return to the foundation of your faith and the basics. The way we ought to conceive of our religious identity is like a three-tiered pyramid. At the very base of the pyramid, there are the essential questions we have all asked. Does God exist? Okay, God exists. What kind of God is He? He is a just, merciful, wise God. Okay, so then there must be wisdom behind why He created me. Why did He create me? What's my purpose in this world? These are all questions we've all asked because we are innately predisposed towards asking and inquiring about such things. Min ayn, fi ayn, ila ayn, as Imam Ali says. This base that forms the foundation of how we see everything is what we call our aqa'id, our belief system. If this is sound, then you're good. When times get tough, when the pyramid gets a bit wobbly, you remember your belief system and you ground yourself again. Okay, next on the pyramid, I've answered all these questions, and based on these answers, I now have to determine what my principles in life should be. I know what kind of God exists, and I know what He wants from me. Depending on how each person sees the world, their principles and values will differ. For some people, happiness is a value, desire is a value, peace is a value. But what happens when our values crash? What happens when we place peace at the price of justice, as we are seeing now today in politics with the Arab nations today? Normalizing ties with Israel. Why? Because we want peace. Peace is a value. But what about the value of justice? What about the plight of Palestinians and their oppression? What about their rights to the land? These same people would have told Imam Hussein, just give bay'ah. Peace, yes, just peace. We want peace, of course, but never at the price of justice. So then I need to have a hierarchy of principles and values and a moral code. This second tier, this hierarchy, we call ethics. Now finally we get to the final tier, the tip of the pyramid upon which you built your aqa'id, you built your ethics and moral code. What's at the very top of the pyramid? The law and jurisprudence. We know that God exists. We know our purpose. We know He sent His prophets to help journey towards perfection. We know our moral compass and our values and our principles. Then finally Islam says, based on all of this, O insan, this is your blueprint for how you should act. What are the rights that your body has upon you? What are the rights that your soul has upon you? What should your relationship to your body be like? How do you honor it? How do you dishonor it? What should your relationship with the nature environment be like? What should your relationship with animals be like? What is your relationship with your spouse and your family? What is your relationship to your government and your community? Based on all of the aforementioned, your belief system, your aqa'ids, and your ethics, Islam comes up with a system of laws, rights, and duties that make you flourish in this world and the next. Oftentimes, struggles we have with upholding the Sharia actually trace back to deeper problems we have in our belief system and in our ethics. How we see the world, how we see God, our purpose, our journey, and our destination has a direct effect on how submissive we are towards Islam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you're one of those people that are struggling with upholding your religious practice this Ramadan, make sure you go back to the foundation and renew your knowledge, renew your intentions, renew your faith, remember your why. It is only through doing this that we will stay grounded in our religious faith and practice.